frankly, God is schizophrenic because she is constantly disagreeing with itself. But at the same time, they all amount to one God. What do?
Then, if they all, the summation of all of them amount to that one Godhead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we would have to use the summation of all of their moral beliefs and moral systems.
Well, what if the ultimate summation is just pure energy? There's no personality, it can't speak to you. You're ultimately left in the dark.
Then that's how we are. I mean, how is that any different from where we are now?
That's my point.
How are we to say what evil is? How are we to say what good is?
Exactly. I'm hoping somebody will define them.
I think everything is good. Everything in the world is good.
Murder?
Yes, it's necessary.
Good only because it's necessary.
But only because something is lesser to evil.
What about
sort of thing.
But, alright, just because something is necessary, does that make it good?
Yes.
Or does everything have to be necessary? What if there are unnecessary evils?
There aren't.
There aren't.
Okay, that is actually a very legitimate way to discount the problem of evil. Tell me, but you have to really sell us on why all the evils in the world are necessary. And that ranges from everything. That ranges from rape, murder, just torture.
What do you want? What do you want to start with? And I'll show you how it's
Torture.
Torture is good because it allows us to see what our government is doing. Specifically speaking with our government, it allowed us to view things in a different paradigm than what we used to view things, and it allows us to move forward as a society and become kinder to other people and kinder to other nations. And so without this torture thing happening, if that didn't happen, then we wouldn't have been able to progress towards a more, world-friendly or towards a more, foreign friendly nation and a kinder nation, a more hospitable nation.
Okay.
What about if you don't see that?
If we don't see it,
If you don't see the good in it, is it still good?
yeah, it's still good.
How's it still good?
What
Those are important situations that come together.
What if the evil happens and no one learns on it? What if no one becomes kinder?
The bunny that's crushed by a tree, and no human or creature is there to perceive that bunny being crushed, and it really just was demolished. Really, it didn't seem to be sort of a reason for greater humanity or anything.
Okay, maybe, right, since we're speaking of hypotheticals, and I can't tell the future.
Sure.
I don't claim to, at least not out loud. Maybe that bunny dying was to help lower the population of rabbits, because as we all know, that rabbits, well, they fornicate like rabbits. And
Endangered panda.
endangered pandas. Oh, come on, pandas are dumb. Pandas, don't get me wrong, I love them, I think they're cute and adorable. I saw the YouTube video where it sneezed, that was amazing, it made me smile for days. But if we look at this, pandas are endangered, they're dying. They've been dying ever since that, it's because they eat bamboo, okay? They eat bamboo, they don't get enough energy, and eventually they die off. Again, why is that evil that they die off? I mean, dinosaurs died off. Was that evil? Really? It allowed us as humans to evolve and
True.
right? Otherwise, we'd have been eaten all. We would have all been eaten by the dinosaurs.
Well, they were stupid.
Huh? Yeah, but they were great hunters.
Fair enough. Okay. Why
Like
do
I've
we
seen the Lost World.
Okay, why do we move
Velociraptors.
Right. Well, yeah, but so do we lose. Anyway, why don't we move away from endangered animals or whatever
Okay.
animal
You
example?
want to talk about genocide?
Well, okay, genocide is fine.
Genocide.
Just plain hate crime
Hate crimes?
of all sorts. People hurting other people because they don't like their religion or their skin color or their sexuality or their gender or anything like that. Just because.
It's not just because. It's them upholding their moral beliefs.
Right.
But then you put.
You can't say,
Wow,
you can't say just because. It's
Okay.
never a just because. There's always a reason behind an action.
I know. And thank you for pointing that out, but how do you justify hate crime?
How do I justify hate crimes? When a hate crime happens, right? Let's take, let's look at the Civil Rights Act, okay? You see tremendous amounts of hate crimes going on. You see the segregation in schools. You see the different water fountains. You see like the lynchings and the burnings of crosses in other yards. And what happened of this? Ultimately, what happened was the black community and supporters of integration and equal rights got together, and they got stronger and stronger and stronger. As we can tell, most of the more violent hate crimes during this era happened in 1906 and 1911, where the black community wasn't, rebelling. They weren't fighting back.
Right.
And then what this ultimately did was all of this violence, all of this hate crimes, caused them to grow more of a passion for what they believed in, and ultimately led to the integration of blacks in society, and ultimately led to, look at how diverse our school is.
I understand. Well,
So you're saying that
For
social
instance,
education.
all right, let's offer a change of setting. There's a country in Africa, same colored people, I'm pretty sure same religious beliefs. They kill each other. Why? They both look the same. Both communities look the same. Both communities believe essentially the same thing.
Resources.
To what my knowledge is.
When we're talking about Africa, resources are scarce in Africa. And if resources are scarce, it's either both of them die from lack of nutrition and lack of resources, or one culture survives.
Okay, allow me to backtrack just a little bit, because I really did. That was an eloquent, point about the civil rights movements and all that. Although I really, really did foresee it, and I was really hoping you'd bring it up, because the question I have to ask after that is, okay, I'll grant you, without this sort of backlash, the community wouldn't have gotten together and fought against it. But why did the African American community have to be discriminated against to begin with? Is it not a necessary evil? Suffering? Sorry.
Well, without slavery, we probably wouldn't have grown as a country economically.
It's true.
True. We did build a lot of our country on slaves, and granted, it wasn't all African slaves either. But
You can take a look at child labor. If it wasn't for child labor back in the day, we wouldn't have industrialized the North, and the North would have been forced to rely on slavery as well.
But then you have to consider how people look at industrialization, because some people don't look at that as a good thing. And a growing economy might not necessarily be a good thing for people that like to live in the wilderness in their native lands,
yeah.
So that's also just as subjective. That can be a
I don't think power in and of itself does necessarily have to be considered a good. Yeah, we became a powerful country, and we probably would not have had we not utilized those sort of tactics and statements. But the ultimate question is what? Yes. But here's my point. Can they be beneficial to us and still be morally wrong?
No.
No?
No. If they are beneficial for us, then they're good.
What if they're not beneficial to us?
They are. All of it. Everything is beneficial for us.
Huh?
Everything.
So your argument is that if something was not beneficial, it wouldn't have existed anyway?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you justify someone who suffered all their life?
What do you mean? Like what?
Like a paraplegic at the age
How do we know that they suffer?
What if they do?
Just because they're not like us, they suffer?
No, not
Just
at all.
because her skin isn't as light as hers,
So the
does she
paraplegic
suffer?
says, the paraplegic constantly gives testimonies to everybody, agonizing about his life, telling about it. And let's just, for sake of argument, presuppose that this paraplegic really is going through a state of agony and really wishes to die, and then commits suicide, and there goes a brutal life. But
I
that
believe
was
she's
Assisted.
I don't know.
assisted, whatever. Some sort of way, maybe he drowns, accidentally falls in the tub or something. But nonetheless, this paraplegic dies, and he was going through his whole life stage with that agony, and it really was a true intent. And I wouldn't doubt there might be cases like that in the world. Maybe they don't live long enough to maybe enjoy, perhaps they could have enjoyed life somewhere down the road. But during this span before they died, they just really weren't enjoying it, nothing.